Okay, Kaja Mataji, ready இருக்கீங்களா?
Ayo, Mataji, why you asking like that? La, tension la, stress juga.
Come on, it's our family. We are almost gonna, how many months? February, March, April, May, June, 5 months, half a year we are together.
Right? No, wow, time went so
Half a year
fast.
we are together,
Ay. But still nervous. I'm sure everybody in the class are also nervous when you ask us to read Sloka. I'm sure they're like, oh no. Every time you send the list, I'm sure there are some like, ayo, my name don't have my name don't. I know
The
about
heartbeat goes up, is it?
Yeah.
Oops, Tamare Mataji, do you feel it? சிரிக்கிறாங்க. Tamare Mataji, later can you lead chanting with us for us at the end of the class like last?
Yes, Tamare Mataji, you can do it.
I've been having Tamare Mataji's name since morning. So you can just go on your speed, we will just follow and catch up. Okay, Mataji, let me bring the slide up. Okay, Mataji. Mataji, do you want me to go first or you can?
I think this one I can.
Okay, all right, Mataji, good.
So if there's anything wrong, sorry.
No
Say
problem.
sorry now itself. Nama, Om Ajnana Timirandasha.
Yeah.
Om Ajnana Timirandasha, Jnananjanakchalakaya, Chakshur Unmilitam Yena, Tasme Shri Guruve Namaha. I offer my most humble obeisances to my spiritual master who has opened my eyes which were blinded by ignorance with the light of knowledge. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate. Mataji, why you muted everybody?
Sorry, I want to unmute. Please repeat. Sorry, Mataji, please repeat.
Okay. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi. Oh, sorry. It's not moving. Okay. So I do this one, Mataji, or you? Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sati Gaura Bhakta Vinda.
Very good.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Haribol. Thank you, Mataji.
Wonderful. Ada bakat ni. I know a lot of you got bakat. Wait, I chungking one by one. Okay, next week siapa Ajita Mataji? Okay, no forcing Can volunteer, no problem. If you need guide, you can let me know. I will send you the slide, the lyrics, as well as audio guide, so you can sing. Okay, so we move on to the class today. Let me just check. This is the correct one. Just hold on, Mataji. Let me just double check. See, I got the wrong PowerPoint. Just 1 second, yeah. Okay. Okay, so good evening, everybody. Welcome to chapter 14 today. Today we go to Hungary. I'm going to take you all to Hungary. Okay, so this is ISKCON Hungary. Okay, I hope you can, something is blocking. Okay, this is ISKCON Hungary. Their deities are Sri Sri Gauranitai, welcome Mataji. This is Sri Sri Radha Shamasundar. Another name for ISKCON Hungary is Navavrajadham. They are very beautiful. All right, so Sri Sri Radha Shamasundar ki jai. Okay, prayers to the spiritual teachers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Simha Iti Namine. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. So the program is dedicated to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Okay, all right. So this is the excerpt from the introduction and extract. In this world, men are not meant for quarreling like cats and dogs. All right, man must be intelligent to realize the importance of human life and refuse to act like ordinary animals. A human being should realize the aim of his life. And this direction is given in all Vedic literatures, and the essence is given in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, remember the cream of the milk, all the milk. Vedic literature is meant for human beings, not for animals. Okay, animals can kill other living animals, so that's for their survival. So there is no question of sin on their part. But if a man kills an animal for the satisfaction of his uncontrolled taste, he must be responsible for breaking the laws of nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly explained that there are 3 kinds of activities according to the different modes of nature. Okay, the activities of goodness, passion and ignorance. So with this one we touched in chapter 13. So in 14 we will dive deeper. All right. Similarly, there are 3 kinds of eatables also. Eatables in goodness, passion and ignorance. So food also you can categorize. So level 1 we saw that, right? All of this clearly described, and if we properly utilize the instruction of Bhagavad Gita, then our whole life will become purified and ultimately we will be able to reach the destination which is beyond this material world. Okay, so chapter 14 is going to touch on the 3 modes. Okay, it will go deeper. All right, so here Prabhupada is stressing that the Vedic scriptures are for human beings.
This is the definition of stress. Give particular emphasis or importance to a point.
It's too loud. All right, so Prabhupada is stressing on the points that Vedic scriptures are for human beings. So animals, next is animals do not have reactions, all right, compared to men. Okay, men are punished. Okay, so I'm bringing this again. Remember, there are 3 sections in Bhagavad Gita. First is achieving bhakti through work, karma. All right, the last section is achieving bhakti through knowledge, jnana yoga. All right, in the middle is the bhakti as the goal and the process. The process and the goal, the means and the goal. So the bhakti, to use bhakti to achieve bhakti, like that. So what is the purpose of us learning jnana yoga? First, we would like to cultivate detachment from material enjoyments, this material world. All right. And then when you detach something, we want to be attached to Krishna. Okay, always we want to be attached to something. Okay, and then utilize this knowledge to attain devotional service. Okay, higher devotion. Okay, so we also saw this 24 elements. Okay, if you remember, we have not covered this one. Actually, it goes like this. From right to left. This is pradhan. Pradhan means this is the 24th element. Yeah, you see here, chapter 14. We did this in chapter 13, so we did not touch this when we did this chart. Pradhan means unmanifested, unmanifested form of 3 modes of material nature. So from this unmanifested form comes this comes these subtle body elements. Okay, the soul is covered by mind, intelligence, false ego. If you remember the bubble, right? The bubble chart. Okay, from there we are able to see these senses. These are all gross. All right, we can see our senses, we can see our hands, legs, voice, all this we can perceive externally. Okay, pradhan, unmanifested. From here comes these subtle elements, and then the material nature gives us all this. All right, then we have this gross body. Okay, finally you have this gross element, 5 gross elements, panchabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, ether. So this one I covered in chapter 13. So now we are going here. This is where Krishna is going to talk about material nature. So these are all 24 field of activities. Okay, so you would have remembered, as we interact with this material nature, we will attain our body accordingly in the next life. So we have, this is actually a revision sloka. So we will have Tamari Mataji to recite for us.
Bhagavad Gita 13.22. Purusha Prakti Stehai Bhakti Prakta Jana Gunana Karma Guna Sangaya Satsaya Yoni Jamasu. Sorry, the living entity in material nature thus follows the way of life, enjoying the 3 modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he meets with God and evil among various species.
Okay, good and evil. Okay, so this is an important sloka for our understanding on how the living entities transmigrate. So we saw transmigration in chapter 2, but Krishna went detailed in chapter 13. Why this transmigration happens? Remember all the 24 elements, all right, and we are the enjoyer. We interact using these 24 elements with the material nature. Thus, we develop certain desire, all right, we advance in certain modes, right, whatever activities we do. So certain modes become more dominant, all right, can you see? This is how we enjoy. We enjoy in the under these 3 modes, and because our association with that material nature, we tend to get the type of body, all right, to continue to enjoy that in that nature. Okay, so when we interact continuously, when we interact, then we are meeting all these different aspects of good and evil among various species. So basically this is the transmigration of the living entity. Why this is happening? Because of the desire to enjoy. Who is desiring? Purusha. Purusha means us. All right, of course there is another Purusha, another supreme enjoyer, okay, which we read in chapter 13, where Krishna said that he is the other person, the other soul that is watching us as a permitter and overseer, remember? Okay, so why I'm bringing in this? Because it's related to what we are going to learn in chapter 14. Can you see these 3 modes here? This is where we're going to go in further. Okay, now chapter 14 is about that all embodied souls are under the control of the 3 modes of quality. Can you see these 3 ladies here, and they have some strings, and then they are puppeteering these 2 men here. So these are all different modes. So according to the dominance of these modes, we are also acting based on that, all right? So there are 3 modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. So by now you all remember already. So there are 3 modes, all right? And our target is to transcend this. Okay, why we have to transcend? Isn't goodness is good enough? Okay, so that one, yes, we will see why. So basically Krishna will be explaining a few things like this, right? If I want to put it out systematically like this, Krishna is going to explain what are these 3 modes, okay, what are their symptoms, what are their characteristics, and how they act upon us, or rather how we react under these influences. Okay, fine, if these are all binding, then how do we transcend them? So Arjuna later will ask, how does one transcend? Okay, And how about the person who has already transcended it? How does he look like? How does he behave? What is his symptoms? So all this Arjuna will ask and Krishna will explain. Okay, so this is basically the overview. From text 1 to 8, we will see how these modes are conditioning, various characteristics, various conditionings, okay? And then, so what is good in mode of goodness? What is special in mode of goodness, all right? And then, how do we transcend these modes? So basically, this is our coverage for today. So basically, this will fall under all this explanation that Krishna is gonna give us. Okay, so we go to 14.1. Wayi Mataji.
Hello.
Hello.
Hare Krishna, all Matajis. Good evening. Okay, it's my pleasure to start chapter 14. Start with the verse 1. Here goes. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Param Bhuya Pravakshvami Yanam Uttamam Yajñaktva Munaya Sarve Param Siddhim Itu Gataha. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Again I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection." Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. That's so captivating the way you sang it.
I love this verse.
Oh, okay. Any special soft spot for this verse?
I don't know. It's just I was reading it today, this afternoon. It just keeps playing in the mind. I mean, of course, I don't remember every single thing, but it's just the tune and also the meaning. It is really, about being knowledge, the supreme perfection.
Right.
So I like this.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Yeah, so from 14.1 to 1, 2, 3, 4, Krishna is going to talk about what does it mean by liberation, and what is this conditioning factor that keeping us in. All right, so out of 4, we will only cover 3. All right, so in the beginning, Krishna is saying, I'm going to give you a knowledge, okay, by which you will attain liberation. And the evidence is that the great sages have attained the supreme perfection by acquiring this knowledge. So Krishna is giving this kind of opening. So this verse is very, very important to show the supremacy of the knowledge that Krishna is going to give us for this chapter. Okay, so like I went through just now, 13.22, the transmigration, the cause, the process, the effects, so what caused the transmigration, why, and all that. So Krishna is going to expand this here. Okay, so remember, the liberation means understanding the knowledge. All right, by understanding this knowledge, we can liberate us. All right, how we came into this world, that Krishna will tell. All right, so knowing this knowledge, the sages have attained perfection. Okay, so that we have come here. Okay, the next is, why are we still here? How we are staying here? Because it's the conditioning, due to the conditioning of the material nature. So these 2 things Krishna will cover from 14.24. Okay, so the goal to understand is, and by understanding this conditioning of the 3 modes, we are going to use this as a powerful tool to assist us in the path of self-realization. So that is the goal. Why are we learning something? Because we want to use this as a tool to escape from this material, from these clutches of these 3 modes. You know, the 3 ladies using the strings. So we want to cut those strings. Right, so Krishna is indicating here that this is best of all knowledge. Okay, Krishna already mentioned about Raja Vidya, king of knowledge. And then Krishna spoke about transcendental knowledge. All right, so when Krishna says this is best, then this is the best of knowledge in relation to the modes of material nature. Okay, so it is important for us to understand this aspect. Okay, how are we why are we still here? Why are we still entangled here? We know we came, and then we know we are not the body, we are the soul, and then we are going to keep changing our body because of a karmic reaction. But how exactly this karmic reaction is happening? Why are we doing it? Why are we doing it as if something is forcing us to do it? Why it's difficult for us to break free? So how to break free? Let's say you're driving, you're going on a boat, right? You want to sail smoothly. Suddenly something is like just jerking. So no matter how much you paddle, okay, let's say if it's a paddling, or no matter how you stir it, you still have problem. So you have to get down into the engine and see what's wrong. Oh, okay, something is stuck here, so let me remove that. And then after you remove, then you can steer it. So until and unless you find out what is wrong there at the root, then no matter how you want to try to steer the boat, it's not going to take us on a smooth journey. So that is why Krishna is taking us into this engine. Why this entanglement is here? Why we are doing these things like we are forced to do it? Okay, so often we don't know. Often people don't know how we are influenced by this material nature. So this knowledge you're going to get in this chapter 14. Honestly, before, like long ago, I always find chapter 13 and 14 is so technical, it's so difficult. But once you read it and understand and try to explain, then you understand, oh, that's why we are here. So this is the essence of it. Even though Jnana Yoga, it looks like so high, but the understanding is very simple. We want to understand the problem. What is the technical issue in the engine, so that we can move smoothly. All right, so like this person, he wants to go to a concert. So to go to a concert, he needs to find somebody who will be able to give him a ticket. So he wants to find the person so that he can give the money. He wants to get the ticket. All right, we will be able to know what is the hurdle. All right, that is a challenge, or that is a process, and we want to cross it. Like I said, right, the boat story, right? That's my own story, but because when I was doing it, I think, yeah, this is like a boat story. All right, so we want to manage that hurdle to cross it. So for even material activities, we always have some hurdles, and we try our best to overcome it. Okay, similarly, spiritual life is the same thing. Devotion, we know in chapter 9, we already know about, Krishna already spoke about the most confidential knowledge. Remember, a famous verse from the chapter 9 is Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam, the offering to Krishna with love. All right, so in that chapter, the most confidential section in this Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, Krishna already spoke about the most confidential knowledge. All right, so we all, as the Jiva, we all know, we are aware. Now from here, to attain that level, we need to we still need to manage these three modes. And then as we learn about these three modes, we will be able to see where exactly we stand. All right, so when we know where exactly we stand and what is those things that are binding us, or posing difficulties for us, or it's like being a hurdle or obstacle for us, then by knowing this, having this knowledge, we can come out of it, we can manage it. Consciously, we'll be able to manage it. So this is why Krishna has said in verse 1, this is the best knowledge. This knowledge you're going to put into practice. Okay, so Krishna will start saying about how we came into this world. Okay, this is example of scorpion and rice. So let's read that, Mataji, Amita Mataji.
Bhagavad Gita 14.3 Mama yonirmahat brahma tasmin garbham dadami aham sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So, the point in this sloka is, how did Jiva come in contact with nature? So this sloka, point 3 and point 4, will explain how the soul comes into the material world and how it is placed within the modes of material nature. Okay, so before going on to the point, then we can talk about this analogy first. All right, so we know here they have given example of scorpion. I have not seen a scorpion coming out from rice, but I've seen bugs coming out from rice. Okay, so what do you all do to prevent bugs? I put dry chili. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right, so does that mean the rice is giving birth to? Is it lagging? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, okay, which one I repeat? Okay. Is everybody okay, right? Okay. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Yeah, so this verse is explaining how soul comes into the material world and how these souls are placed in the modes of material nature. So like I was saying, we see bugs coming out from the rice or any food, right? So we don't say that the rice is giving birth to the bugs, right? It's because the mother of the bugs have laid eggs in the rice. So the rice has provided an environment for the eggs to hatch and the bugs coming out. I mean, it's so gross to think like that, but that's the analogy is given. All right, so the scorpion lays eggs in the piles of rice, and sometimes it is said that the scorpion is born out of rice. Okay, so we know the rice is not the cause of the scorpion. Okay, so the eggs were laid by the mother. So similarly, all right, this material nature, okay, we seemingly be born in material nature, Mother Earth, material nature, right? But similarly, material nature is not the cause of the birth of the living being. Okay, so many people think, okay, material nature is giving us the birth. No, material nature is giving the facility, giving us the body, the 24 elements. Okay, so material nature is like a mother providing the environment. So the birth is caused by the seed is planted by a father. All right, so Krishna will say that he is the seed giving father. So that one he will tell in 14.4. Okay, so every living entity, according to his past lives, activities, gets a different body created by this material nature, so that, remember the term we saw, he will continuously enjoy according to whatever dominant modes he acquire based on his desires. All right, so we get that particular type of body so that we can continue to enjoy or suffer according to our past deeds. Okay, so follow, yeah, Mataji? So the Lord is the cause of all the manifestation. Everything comes from Krishna. All right, and he places us in this material world. So it is said, this word is used, impregnate. So Brahman means the manifestation, the energy of Krishna. All these creations is called Brahman. Okay, so basically this analogy here refutes the statements that like material nature is the cause of the birth of living entities. So actually the seed is given by the Supreme Lord. So this one we will see in the next verse here. Okay, 14.4. Apara Mataji.
Sarvayonishu Kaunteya Murtaya Sambhavantiya Tasam Brahma Mahatyonir Aham Bija Pradapita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so we are continuing on how did Jiva come in contact with the nature. Okay, so the birth is made possible in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. So this is a very important verse. Okay, and among all the scriptures in this Bhagavad Gita, God declares that he provides the seed. Okay, all right. So who is the source of all living entities? Aham bija pradapita. Bija, seed. Pita, father. All right. So the source is Krishna, not Mother Nature. Material nature is the mother. It supplies living entity with the body. Okay, everything that takes place is due to combination of our body, the field, interaction of the field, the spirit soul, and the 24 elements. So it is made possible by that. However, the seed is given by the Father. So this is a very famous verse, very important verse. Okay, Krishna is saying that we are all brothers and sisters, that we came from same father, and material nature is our mother. So this is true for all species of life. So we should have proper respect for all forms of life. Okay, and this is also to reinforce the understanding that the life does not come from material nature alone. A woman, just like a woman cannot give birth to a child on her own, there has to be a seed-giving father. So same is true with this material world. There is seed-giving father. Okay, we take particular body based on our past deeds. Father is Krishna, mother is material nature. Okay, so clear? Because we're going to go to another section. Okay, so we understand now how we have come here, why we are here. Okay, all right, and where we should go, right? Where we should go, the one Krishna already mentioned, where the great sages go after understanding this knowledge, there we want to go. Okay, so now we're going to a very important, this one. This is my most favorite section and very important too. How these modes are binding the pure soul. When I say pure soul, soul without the subtle elements, the false ego, mind, intelligence, all the subtle body. Remember, when we die, we shed our gross body. Okay, but along with our consciousness and everything, which is like a deep impression, it's inside the subtle body, and the subtle body takes that soul, together to take another body. So that's why our consciousness sometimes it influences our next lives. All right, so whatever modes that we have acquired in this life, whatever modes that are dominant, we carry on. Okay. However, if we want to transcend this material world, then we have to shed these subtle elements as well. We have to purify this. All right. Okay. So if you remove all that, the soul remains as a pure soul. So how these modes bind this pure soul, making us a conditioned soul. Okay. So we will move to 14.5. Kantimati Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Bhagavad Gita 14.5. Sattvam Rajastama iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha vivapnanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes. Hare Krishna.
Okay, just give me 1 second. What happened, Kajay Mataji? You already co-host, Mataji. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's learn colors today. Okay, so the three modes are like these three colors. None of us will exhibit only one mode. All right, we all will exhibit different combination of these modes. Let's say this is sattva. This is given here as sattva. Sattva means goodness, and this is passion, rajas, red, and then there's blue here, tamas. So always there are combination. Okay, so this image will help us to understand more of this modes, so how this combination of modes of material nature works. So there are three primary colors. Okay, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Red, blue, and yellow. Combination of these three colors in different ways can make many colors. Okay, same is true for the different living entities in the material world. There are many different combos of modes of material nature. Okay, like I said, not all living entities will display only one mode. There's no such person will only display only fully goodness or fully passion, fully ignorance. So most of the time there are mixtures. Some of it will be dominant. So the one in this chapter later text teacher Krishna will teach us, but we will not cover all on the details on the dominance of the modes. You can read on your own. Okay, so it's always a mixture, like blue mix yellow, you get green, red mix yellow, you get orange. So these are different combinations. With the different combination, you get different shades of color. Okay, so so that's one. So next is all living entities is influenced by these three modes on their own or combination. All things around us, they are influenced by these three modes. Water, food, even clothes, it is mentioned that they will be influenced by modes of nature. Sometimes we have this experiments on water, right? When you say prayers to a water and then you see it under the microscope, you have like crystal-like molecule, something like that, right? And then if you curse the water and then if you look under the microscope, you'll have very funny looking molecules, right? I've seen that experiments, somewhere I've read about it. So yeah, these are all influenced by modes. Okay, why it happens? Because we interact differently. We interact so many ways with the material nature and we become conditioned by it. Okay, we start to think that this is what I like, it's very nice, and this is my life. So we become bonded in that way. Okay, just like the soul, like if I'm a human, if I look at pig, I don't want to be like a pig. I don't want to have a pig life. But let's say in certain condition, one is put in the pig body, that the soul will be conditioned by the nature of the pig and he will start to enjoy the life of pig. We saw this story, right? Lord Indra becoming a pig in his life, and he didn't want to come out of it, even though Lord Brahma comes and call him. And he will think that he is happy, I'm getting my food, this is my pig family, this is my pig life, I enjoy playing in the mud, they will enjoy it. So that's why we tend to think, okay, this is fine, I'm doing fine, I'm all right. This is why we become conditioned. I don't want to be completely conditioned under MCU. I want to break free. Yeah, it's conditioned. Yes, Mataji. So we can't do anything about it right at the moment. So we are conditioned by the situation around us because of the influences of these three modes. So this is a general understanding how the material modes bind the jiva. All right. It's by habituating us, right? Always repeatedly doing this, right? It's habituating us to various experiences and emotions. So we become conditioned in that manner. Okay, so next we will see how these modes influence people. Each mode. Yeah, I forgot about this one. Yeah, this one also, Mataji. Yeah, why people sing, right? This is all conditioned. This is all influencing. Okay, so before we see the different modes and their conditionings, rice experiment. What is rice experiment, Mataji? Would you like to share? Rice experiment.
Can Mataji?
Yeah,
so
what
very
is it?
quickly, sorry MJs. So this was actually done by a Japanese, I forgot his name. So what he did was he filled up 3 cooked rice equally in 3 jars and labeled each of them positive, ignore, negative. Every day he said, the positive word to the positive jar, he ignored the second jar. The third jar, he said all the negative words, anger and all that stuff. And he did this experiment, I think across 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. And the results showed that the one where he used positive words, they actually had very little molding, very like almost a minimal. The one that he ignored had obviously more molding, but the one that he used for negative had the most mold and this horrible stuff in it. So that actually proves that your words have also got energy. In other words, that's what proved. So quickly, the reason behind this experiment is that every day, even at home, we should also use positive words, because the words will have that energy will actually loom around the house as well. So similar concept. And my next podcast is actually about this, MJ.
Oh, be sure to share with us, okay?
Will do.
You've given a trailer. Okay, thank you for the sharing. Spat in the negative rice as well. Wow. All right, thank you, Mataji. All right, so one can say, oh, I have a golden handcuff, I have silver handcuff, and you have a iron handcuff, but handcuff is handcuff. Okay, so we cannot say that, oh, I have predominantly, I have mode of goodness in me. All right, but it is still a handcuff. It is a golden handcuff. Is the material may be different, but it's still a handcuff. Just like we are in a bird is in a small cage, and then a dog in a bigger kennel cage, and then we are in an unseen cage. This material world is a big cage. All right. So we think that, oh, I'm not as constrained as a bird in the small cage. I'm not as constrained as the animal in that cage, but we are still in a bigger cage. We are still in a cage, no matter what cage is it. So there is a point to reflect that no matter what mode we are in, it is still a binding factor to maintain, to remain, make us remain in this material world. So it's binding no matter what, gold ke, silver ke, iron ke. All right. So from here, we sure know the way to break out from this is the key. The key is devotional service. Otherwise, all the three modes are binding. Okay. So now we are entering each and every mode and see how they're actually binding us. Chandra Prabha Mataji.
Good evening to everyone. Bhagavad Gita 14.6. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat parakasakammanayanam prakashakamannamayam sukha sangena Bhatnati Jnana Sangena Chanaga.
Very good, Mataji.
O sinless one, the mood of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mood become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so this is the verse on, from 14.6, 14.7, 14.8. We will see one by one, the modes one by one. What is the characteristics, all right, and what is the conditioning factor under these modes that's conditioning us? Okay. So we will explain one another, okay? Explain the ways in which goodness, passion, and ignorance force us, like I use the word, right? Force a soul to experience his existence. Okay, so people in the mode of goodness, okay? These are all people in the mode of goodness, like Brahmana, scientist, philosopher, poet. Why? Because they have knowledge, all right? And that is the characteristic of people under this mode of goodness is illuminating. Illuminating means prakash. This is the word prakash here. Okay, they are purer than the others, meaning purer than the passion and ignorance. Okay, they have knowledge. So naturally, when somebody has knowledge, what are they able to do? They are able to discriminate right and wrong. So they will not be inclined towards doing abominable activities. They will not go into sinful activities. So they will not engage in this kind of activities. So that is why they are illuminating. It frees one from all sinful reactions. Their activities is not towards that. Okay, now what is the problem here? The problem is this, they have happiness, they get happiness, and they have knowledge. But these two factors are the conditioning factors. Okay, why? When they have knowledge, right, what is the setback of this? They will become attached to this. Okay, I'm fine, I'm doing okay, I have knowledge and I'm feeling happy. That's one. Number two, they will think they are more superior than the others, those who are in passion and ignorance. This kind of opinion will creep in to them. I am high class, I am educated, I don't have to be concerned about others. All right. Generally, mode of goodness is encouraged, but we cannot be simply contented with that. Okay. So that is why, you know, the Brahmanas, they have very simple life. All right. Like they are in the pure, they are in goodness. They have a very simple life. They, what is called, Mataji, there's a mic. I'm muted. Some surgeon, yeah, okay, I know. You know, what are those four people that who do not surrender to God? One of them is this. They are in this mode of goodness. Can somebody recall, Jai Sitarani Mataji? Can you recall? Can you see these people, right? What are these people? Where do they fall? There are four types of people who do not surrender to God. They have knowledge. They have knowledge. But what happens to their knowledge? Okay, so why Mataji comes up with that that term, I'll just explain further. Okay, so in this today's modern world, we do not have like real brahmanas, right? There are a lot of brahmanas that are changing into scientists. All right, scientists, what they do, they always try to improve their material life. Okay, I'm happy. They do that. They keep doing things to advance, and they think they are happy, and they're going to do that again and again and again, and then they feel that sort of material happiness is the happiness. So they will not move further because they are happy, they're satisfied. All right. So how about philosophers? They are generally engaged in discussing about the nature of the world. All right, falsafa. Poets, they use their knowledge in using the conditions in the material world. They talk about same philosophies and poet. So these are the activities that they do in the mode of goodness. They don't go into abominable activities. Okay, so these are the people who are called symbol of goodness. So if you were to talk about the likelihood of liberation among these people, then it is said that there is no likelihood of liberation or to be transferred to spiritual world. Okay, that's sad. Why? Because one person, when they advance in their field, right, he's a poet or he's a musician or he's a scientist, they repeatedly become a philosopher. Repeatedly, they become a scientist. Repeatedly, they become a poet. All right, so in this way, they are repeatedly becoming entangled in the same disadvantages of birth and death. Activities are fine. It's not wrong. But they're coming back again and again, doing the same thing again and again. So unless they realize that they are trapped in this hamster wheel, right? It's kind of tough to transcend this mode of goodness. No, seekers of knowledge are those people who seek God. There are four people who do not surrender to God. Mayaya Partanyana, knowledge stolen by illusion. So they have knowledge, but the knowledge is stolen by illusion that they know everything. All right, so they do not surrender. Okay, can understand, Matajis? All right, so the symptoms of people under this mode of goodness is illuminating, and they do not engage in sinful reactions. They do not get sinful reactions because simply their nature of activities are not inclined towards that. However, they are conditioned by happiness and knowledge. Remember, they think that they are superior, there is arrogance, or they find there is complacent, sufficient, everything is sufficient. So again and again, they're going to come back as a scientist. You know, that's why you have small child becoming a genius, right? Like who, like even the what's that sitar guy name? Ravi Shankar. I think somebody said that he has the last birth was his 9th birth, right? And then we have the young chap in piano who is the Lydia Nadaswaram. So these are all very amazing souls, right? It's all because they were having all these impressions from the past life. So if they do not transcend, then they're going to come back again and again. Okay, now, so what is good about this being in this mode of goodness? It's not all bad, it's good, all right? So because you are very close to jump into the transcendental plane. Why? Because having being in the mode of goodness is like you're staying near airport. Okay, if you want to go to London, then you have to take, if you are staying in New York, you have to go to the New York airport. Okay, but just because you are in the airport or staying nearby the airport, unless you bought the flight, you cannot go to London. All right. So if you do not hanker for the higher knowledge, all right, not just being complacent with the happiness and knowledge that you get in the mode of goodness, if you do not transcend, then you can never transcend this material planet. All right. So this is the example. Okay. All right. So the advantage of having an airport is only meaningful when you catch the plane. So if not, you're gonna come back again. Okay, you already have the advantage of because when you are in mode of goodness, a lot of facilities are already been provided for us to practice spiritual life. Okay, so the path is already there. You're already on the process of purifying the consciousness, and then you just have to hanker for higher knowledge. It's a favorable platform from which to pursue spiritual life. Okay, so that we all are here learning, so I guess we are on the right platform, so we just have to hanker more. All right, so we want to fly to London. Okay, so next we are looking at passion, 14.7. Indrani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Bhagavad Gita 14.7. Rajo Ragat Makam Vidhi Krishna Sangha Samudbhavam Tani Badnati Kauntaya Karma Sangina Dihinam. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings. O son of Kunti, and because of this, the embodied living entity is born to material fruitive actions. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay. Now, when we talk about passion, we are talking about passion in a broader context. So it is not just an attraction between a man and woman. It's just that the characteristic of passion, mode of passion is like an attraction between man and woman, which means it's very, very strong, very powerful, because the characteristic is unlimited desires and longings. Anything that we are over-hankering, that is passion. All right, people are generally very strong desire. They want a lot to satisfy their senses. So passion binds by the ropes of desire and attachment. Okay, so they will be bound by material fruitive actions. So in goodness, we saw people under the mode of goodness are bound by happiness and knowledge. They are conditioned by happiness and knowledge. People under the mode of passion conditioned by their material fruitive actions, because they always want to do something. They always want to keep doing things that they like to do, or they want to do more and more and more. So the word passion is very popular today. Everything you want passion. Perfume pun passion, car is passion, dress passion, passion, car, passion. What else passion? Everything want passion. Music is passion, movie is passion. All right, games also passion. All right, so everything is passion. Passion is a very fast selling word. All right, so people think passion is God. It's exciting. It's interesting. All right, but from Bhagavad Gita, we learn that passion leads to more suffering, darkness, and miseries. So this one also is covered in this chapter 14, but we will not go into detail, but I will put in like a summary. Yeah, because basically we lack of energy. But you don't know, Mataji, propensities are always there. Right? The propensities are there. Maybe the intensity is not that compared to our younger age, but the propensity is there. Otherwise, why Dhritarashtra still wanted, even after the Pandavas won, why he still didn't want to go and take up a renunciate life until the brother Vidura has to come and tell him, hey guy, hey bro, you're old already. The one whole chapter, I think, in Canto 1, Vidura will be explaining to Dhritarashtra, you're old already, please go and, dedicate your life in a devotional service. There's no point you stay here, you'll never get the kingdom, you're old already. So even an old person like Dhritarashtra still has that passion. Okay, so the result of action in mode of passion will result in distress. Okay, all right. So just like the happiness in the nature of happiness in the mode of passion is like this. It has It has a beginning and it has an end. It will end. But in the beginning, it will taste like nectar. All right, drink, smoke, drug, girls and guys. After that, it will turn to poison, problems, miseries, stress, and problems. Maximum crime. Like that. So we have to be very careful. From passion, okay, now passion is in between, right? Goodness is on the at the above, and ignorance below. So a slight or a carelessness can drag us into ignorance. So once you fall into ignorance, it's very difficult to come up. So when fear and passion, we try to consciously elevate ourselves to goodness, okay, by cultivating better things. Okay, so for people under the mode of passion, the destination is no chance of liberation. Okay, so in 14.7, Krishna say it's born out of unlimited desires and unlimited desires and longings. Okay, I want to keep doing something. So thus they are bound by fruits of work. So we can see how this man, right? This man got married. Okay, it shows his life. All right, when we are driven by mode of passion, right? Because we want to do something. When we want to do something, we want to work. We have to work hard. All right, so when the mode of passion is increased, one develops the hankering for material enjoyment. Okay, I got a small house, now I want a bigger house. I got a small car, I want a bigger car. This car power tak cukup, I want to go for more. Like that. So man always want to try for more sense gratification. Okay, he wants so this sense gratification can come in various forms, like he wants honor in a society or in the nation, or he wants to have a happy family with nice children, wife and house. All right, that's fine. And then to provide for these surroundings, he has to work. All right, so these are all the product of the mode of passion. Okay, as long as one is hankering after these things, he has to work hard to provide. Okay, so in that process, we become associated with the fruits of our activities, and then we become bound by these activities. So this is a process. In order to please the wife or children, to keep up his prestige, to impress the society, community, he has to work. So work binds this way, the passion. Okay, so basically the material world is driven by mode of passion, more or less. Okay, so modern civilization is considered to be advanced in the standard of the mode of passion. Okay, so I wanted to bring this sloka from Nectar of Instruction. So I recall this one line here. There are 6 things that are not favorable for devotional service, and one of it is the number 2. Over-endeavoring for a mundane thing, for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. So the word is prayasascha. So this is the topic. Nectar of Instruction is written by Rupa Goswami. Okay, so it's a very small book, and it has very few slokas to talk about how to live. Okay, so like this, it will give guide 6 things that require, 6 things that are not required. So one of the things that are not required is over-endeavoring. Other than that, we have eating more than necessary, collecting more funds than required. So other than that, we have all that. So this is actually pretty striking for me. I wanted to bring it here. Over-endeavoring, not just endeavoring, over-endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. So we have covered goodness, we have covered passion. Okay, so now we are at ignorance. How the mode of ignorance condition a pure soul. Jai Mani Mataji.
Good evening, Mataji.
Good evening, Mataji.
Samasta vachana jam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nirprabhis tanibad nadi bharada. Translation: O son of Bharata, now that the mote of the darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The results of these motes are madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so here the characteristics. Delusion. Delusional is a characteristics, and how it binds the soul. The soul is through madness, indolence, and sleep. Indolence means not working, right? Don't want to work. Laziness, actually laziness. Am I lagging? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, all right. Oh, you're lagging for you. Okay, hopefully Mataji later you're clear. Okay, so look at the picture one, yeah. It's the same picture that we saw in level one. So obviously he's a drug addict. So what do drug addicts do? They just jab themselves and then lie down, they pass out, and then they do that again and again. So another kind of character, they will sleep long hours. So that is indolence. So the result is madness, darkness. Okay, and then look at this picture too. If you want to give them some, if you want to invite them to associate for some spiritual understanding, they will not be interested. So these are the two kind of people under mode of ignorance, because they are bound by these conditions: madness, indolence, and sleep. They just simply don't want to do anything. They're just not interested. Don't want. They are. It's totally opposite from goodness. Goodness means have knowledge, right? So this one is opposite. No knowledge. Okay. Laziness, they have no discipline. If you look at people in the mode of goodness, they have some disciplines, right? Restrictions. All right, so here tak ada. Okay, so suka hati. So that is the mode of ignorance, and these are the conditions. Hold on. Okay, madness, indolence, and sleep. Okay. Okay, so these predominant gunas in Kali Yuga. What kind of things they do? They always want to travel, they want to get rich, they want to get new car, they want to provide more and more things for family, they want more and more success, they endeavor a lot for their pets, and the maintenance of body. These are all over endeavoring. So these are all driven by the mode of passion or ignorance. So in Kali Yuga, these are the predominant guna. Predominant guna means the stronger of the others. Passion and ignorance, it prevails more compared to goodness. That's what this picture is trying to say. Okay, like there was an example given that we are not Mukesh Ambani. Ambani is a very rich guy in India, right? It's just that his passion is on very large scale, but we are doing in a very small scale. So but the propensity, the intention is the same. Intention is the same, but intensity is different. Okay, so this kind of people are always busy. So they don't have time for God. Okay, so that will result in mode of ignorance. Okay, so basically this is the situation of so many people. Okay, so we want to wake them up. Okay, so let's see how the modes can be dominant in different times of day and different phase of life, like Tamri Mataji mentioned just now. As we get older, as we get older, the easier to overcome passion. We will see the truth here later. Now, sometimes the mode of goodness become prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance. O son of Bharata, sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance, and at other times ignorance defeats goodness and passion. So like this, there's always competition for supremacy. So in the morning, the mode of goodness is more dominant. That is why people engage in a lot of good things like praying, puja, meditation. All right. As the day progresses, in the noon, it becomes passionate. People go out, work, run around, right? So this filled with mode of passion. And then later, people sleep. This is considered ignorance mode. Okay, they sleep. Okay, look at life, right? A child, when he was smaller, he is actually in the mode of ignorance because he is not aware of anything. However, because he is innocent, so it is a mode of goodness also for children. All right, as the person grows, then he becomes more passionate to work and provide for him and his family. So that's how people progress. So when it comes to the elderly age, then they are more like a settle. Okay, we know what is life, so this is important, this is not important, this doesn't matter at all. So they are entering the mode of goodness when they are much older. Okay, but we don't know how long we will live. That's the problem now, right? Okay, so according to our karma, our work, our association, our choice of food and so on, a particular mode becomes predominant within us. Okay, so how do we identify the modes? That we can see in point 11 and point 13. So that one we will not cover. You can read 11, 12 and 13, how we can identify what modes is more dominant in your life. That'll be interesting. Why don't you read and see? So you reflect and see. Okay, I think I have this mode more, so I think I need to slow down on this. Oh, I have this a little bit, so maybe I have to increase this. Okay, I have a little bit of quality in the mode of goodness, maybe I want to increase this. Or I have a lot of quality under the ignorance, maybe I should reduce it. Or I'm in the passion, okay, so I don't want to go down, then I need to do something, tweaking to that so that I can go to goodness. Okay, so we all need to go up to the mode of goodness. Okay, so how these modes of nature affect us and where do we go at death? Jagadish Mataji not around? Okay. Effects of conditioning by the modes. Destination at death. Interesting. Urdhvam gacchanti satvasta madhye tishtanti rajasaha jaganya guna vrittista adho gacchanti tamasaha. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planets, and those in the abominable mode of ignorance go down to hellish planet. So basically, this is obviously is talking about the destination after death. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure planets of the great sages. It could be Tapaloka, Mahaloka, or Brahmaloka, Indraloka, all right, all the heavenly planets. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities, basically material world, right? Because here people are working hard, rat race always. When one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. Always want to sleep, right? Okay, so the material nature will give you the body to always sleep. Okay, all right, so if you love to swim so much, then you probably get a fish body, like that. So according to the degree of goodness, one can go to different upper planetary system. Okay, it depends on the degree of the goodness. Okay, so similarly, passion is usually mixed between goodness and ignorance. If it's pure passion, then one remains on earth as a king or a rich man. Otherwise, he may go down. So he probably even go mad in the next life because he was madly after some certain things, right? Okay, so at this passion mode, it's very difficult to go to higher planets. It's difficult, means it's difficult to go to transcend on his own. Okay, on his own, difficult. And then mode of ignorance, they are the most, they are from the lowest quality. So the result is very risky. Okay, according to the degree, like here, according to the different degree, we can get a different higher planetary system. And here, if you look at it like downward, according to the degree of their activities, he can go to any of the 8 million species. Okay, so basically they have very dark future. So we want to be careful not to fall. If you are here, we don't want to fall here. It's very difficult to come up, all right, on our own. So basically what can save us out is Krishna conscious is the system and opportunity, right? It is both the system and the opportunity to elevate to higher mode of goodness. So we can slowly go up here by cultivating chanting and hearing, and because when you do this, remember the prescribed duties, waking up early in the morning, doing puja, doing a mantra meditation, keeping ourselves clean like bathing, and all this is already going towards here. So it will help. This is an opportunity. This is a gate. All right. This is the window to go to mode of goodness. Oh, okay. No, Mataji, this one is people who worship certain activities and they do not engage in spiritual knowledge cultivation. Okay, devotees can swim also, so not a problem. They want to keep fit because they want to use their body to Krishna service. My children also swim, so it's not that. All right, so it's not like that. You know, sometimes people like to just sleep like bear and then they get a body of bear. This is only for people who do not cultivate spiritual activity. All right, things that they only mad about and they ignore the other spiritual part of it. Yeah, so no worry about that. Don't worry about that. Okay. Okay, so the quick recap is we saw all these three modes, right? Goodness, passion, ignorance. And we saw the characteristics, what are the binding forces and what is the result. Okay, so for goodness, the character is that these people, they have knowledge and they will not go into sinful reactions. So however, what are the binding force is they are bound by this happiness and satisfaction. All right, they think they are more knowledgeable than others, so they feel they are more superior, so the arrogance creep in. Otherwise they will think that I'm okay, I'm fine. All right, so and then they're going to come back again and again as an expert in their field. So the result is pious because they are doing the sinful activities. TikTokers, don't know what going to happen to them, Mataji. I've got a nice story for this later. Be careful on what we desire. Okay, so passion, people in the mode of passion, okay, they have unlimited desires, longings. It's very intense. The desire is very intense. They have great attachment and they engage in fruitive activities. Okay, so basically what is binding them is this attachment itself, the ropes of desire and attachment. Okay, desire, remember, desire. I didn't take a look at the quiz, so I wish you all good luck. So I think this may be important. All right, so attachment, desire, the intense hankering. Okay, so all these are under passion and they will result in miseries. It's nectarian in the beginning, poisonous at the end. All right, finally, the ignorance. What is the characteristics? They are delusional, they are in the darkness, they are in the madness, they are inert. They just don't do things right. All right, and how it binds them into this material nature? Because of their madness, laziness, and the long hours of sleep. All right, so it will result in foolishness. So passion has great attachment. Ignorance is illusion, delusion. All right, everything is done against scripture. So that is illusion. Okay, so whatever it is, whether it's goodness or passion or ignorance, wherever we are bound. All right. Okay. Okay, this is an additional Krishna. Now Arjuna knows already how we came here, why we took this certain body, and what is technically binding us here in goodness, passion, and ignorance. So he knows all this knowledge already. Now he's asking Krishna, "Oh my Lord, by which symptom one is known who is transcendental to these three modes?" So now Arjuna is asking, okay, now I know the problem already. So how am I going to transcend this problem? How do we transcend? How does this person behave, the person who transcends these modes? All right. After that, what is his symptom? All right. So that's how Arjuna is asking Krishna about Gunatita. How to become Gunatita means transcending the three modes. Guna means gunam, right? Characters, modes. All right. What are his symptoms? His behavior, the process of transcending the modes. However, Krishna will not answer all the three questions. Okay. Oh, okay, I double slide. Okay. So Krishna will not answer all. He will only answer this one here. I mean, Krishna answered all this, but we will cover only this one here. So you can read. So basically, a person with knowledge. Remember earlier I said a person with knowledge. What his advantage? He will be able to discriminate between right and wrong. All right. So generally, that is how a person in knowledge can discriminate. So here, indeed, if you want to go in detail, what are the things a person, after knowing all this knowledge, what are we discriminating here? We are discriminating that we are not the body. That's one. And then we are able to know that Krishna is the supreme. All right. And then to become free, that we need to take shelter of Krishna. So this jnana is what taking us to bhakti. So jnana yoga, now you can see how the jnana yoga is culminating in bhakti yoga. So 14.21, these are the 3 questions that Arjuna is asking. He wants to know, after this, where do I go? And how a person who transcended will behave. He wants to know that. Okay, and Krishna will explain his relation, his position in relation to this. Okay, so these are the long characteristics, symptom of person who have transcended these 3 modes. So let me just read that. Okay, symptoms and behavior. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, who does not hate illumination, attachment and delusion when they are present or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active. So this is what we learn, right? Who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal towards the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, means undisturbed with praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, equally disposed for everybody, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature. Okay, that's a long list of symptoms and behavior. Okay, however, Krishna always give a easy solution at the end. Okay, let's see how Krishna gives the comfort. 14.26, Jai Sitarani Mataji.
Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, and at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman.
Thank you, Mataji. So Krishna is giving an easy solution for all of us. Okay, how does he transcend the mode? This is the question that Arjuna asks, right? So Bhagavan is telling, by pure devotional service, one can transcend and achieve Brahman liberation. Meaning, Brahman means the all-pervading energy. Okay, the light. Always remember, Brahman means the Jyoti, the light that is coming out from Krishna, the light of the train. Okay, so we are like a tiny spark of Krishna, right? So we are the small Brahman. Krishna is the supreme Brahman. So all is Krishna's energy. So Krishna is saying, if you perform this full devotional service unfailing in all circumstances, means what? Determined, don't fall down, don't give up. So these are all unfailing. So if you do this, then at once you transcend the modes of material nature. Easy way out. Okay, the individual soul is forever a servant of the super soul, and therefore his relationship with the super soul is to offer service. Okay, that is called bhakti yoga or bhakti bhava. Okay, so here Krishna will say you will come to the level of Brahman. Then we'll be thinking, why Brahman? I thought Krishna is the source. We must come to the realization of Bhagavan. Why we should settle at the level of Brahman? All right, then Krishna will say, I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman. All right, he will say that I am the basis. So you will come to me. That is what Krishna is trying to explain. Okay, all right. So like earlier I mentioned, we have to be very careful on what we desire. So there is a story here. There is a father and son, they were going on a Rolls Royce. So suddenly the son said, Papa, he saw a aquarium shop. Can you please stop there? I want to buy fish to go back home. I want to buy fish for my home. All right, so they dropped by an aquarium shop. So the boy bought a goldfish. He took it in a plastic or aquarium, whatever. Okay, so he took it on the car. So it was told that it was known that the fish had a desire in his previous life that he wanted to go on Rolls Royce. Means in previous life it would have been anybody, right? Any human, anybody. And he wanted to have a very successful life, a very rich aristocratic life in the next birth, and he desired, I want to go on Rolls Royce. Well, woof, your desire is fulfilled, but you never know in what kind of body that you will be put in, what kind of situation to enjoy what you have thought. All right, so it's very tricky, very risky in what we are asking. So that is the moral of this story. We want to be very careful on what we ask. However, if you just ask pure devotional service in whatever state, it's going to give you the ultimate happiness. So I find it's very funny, and then it's scary also, right? We have to be careful what we are praying for. What TikTok story, Mataji? I also don't know. I'm not sure, Mataji, what TikTok story. Anyway, we have one interesting story from Ajita Mataji about here we want to be careful on what we ask, right? And then we want to find the best thing to ask from Krishna. We want to ask the best thing, all right? So that's the story now. Ajita Mataji will narrate to us. Mataji, we can unmute Mataji. Ajita Mataji.
Hi.
Okay, can hear.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you, Mataji.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so I'll try not. No, I'll try not to talk to myself while I'm worried you didn't hear me. Okay. All right. Let me see. Where's the story? Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll start.
Yes.
Correct. Now I can't find where I wrote it down. Just give me 1 second, please.
Can.
Okay. So the story is actually about I'll just read out to you. So okay, I hope all of you will follow what I say. Once a poor brahmana worshipped Lord Shiva for a benediction, and Lord Shiva advised the devotee to go to see Sanatana Goswami. Now the devotee went to Sanatana Goswami and informed. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
oh,
can.
Okay. For a minute there, I thought I wasn't being heard. Okay, so I'm going back to, where is that now? Oof.
Okay, devotee went to the Sanatan Goswami.
Yeah, and I have off that thing. Just give me 1 second. Ayyo.
Or you can just tell what you remember.
No. Okay, fine. I guess I'll have to tell you what I remember.
Yeah.
So, okay. Basically, what the brahmana did is he went to see.
Sanatan
He went to see Sanatana
Goswami.
Okay, Sanatana Goswami, and he asked, "Can you please give me the most important, whatever that's the greatest
benediction?"
Right. Okay. And he told him, he said, "See, I only have this touchstone, and if you want, I'll give you this." So the brahmana, he took the touchstone and he was about to walk out, and then he realized, he said, "Hey, how come the touchstone is next to the garbage? If that's the case, then let me go back and ask him for the best wealth that he has." So he went back and asked Sanatana Goswami, and he said, "Listen, I want the best. I don't want just halfway what you give me, right? So you tell me, you give me the best." So this guy said, "Okay, fine. Give me back the touchstone. What I want you to do now is I want you to go. Okay,
you tell him to throw the stone in the water.
Throw the touchstone into the water, into the sea. All right. Okay, hold on. The story's a bit slow now because I can't seem to get the. Okay, I still can't get it. I don't know where the paper is. Okay. Anyway, so basically, he said, get back the touch. Give me back the touchstone, and I want you to go throw the touchstone into this big sea. Okay. So this guy goes and he walks over to the sea and he throws it into the sea. Correct,
Correct.
Mataji? All right.
Yes,
Okay. Please
yes.
tell me if I'm putting in my own story. All right. Anyway, so then he throws it in the sea, and suddenly he comes back. Because I don't think so he gets anything. So he comes back, and
then he'll ask, what is the next best?
Yeah. So what is the best present? What is the best gift? So he says, okay, say Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So when when the Brahmana says this, he actually gets the best because he's actually initiated into the Hare Krishna, the words, and he gets the overall the best thing lah. Okay.
Yes, you
Sorry,
got
guys.
it, Mataji. No matter how you narrate it, you got that lesson, the moral of the story. You got it correct, Mataji. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Okay.
No problem. Thank you, Mataji.
No
Good
problem.
try. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, when he comes and he asked Lord Shiva he came to ask Lord Shiva the best benediction, and the Lord Shiva, Sanatan Goswami has a place. So near Sanatana Goswami, there is a Lord Shiva temple. So that's why the Brahmana went there. And then the Lord Shiva will tell you, okay, you can go and ask Sanatan Goswami. He's got the best benediction. So this Brahmana will go to the Sanatan Goswami. Lord Shiva told me that you have the best benediction. Can I have it? Oh, okay, yeah, it's there near in the garbage. You can take it. So the guy also very happily took it and went, because that touchstone can even turn sand into jewels, in diamonds, something like that. It's very, very powerful. Then halfway he will be thinking, if this is very powerful, why Sanatan Goswami is keeping it in the garbage, pile of garbage? That means he must have something better than this. All right, so he went back and said, hey, yeah, like Ajita Mataji said, hey, you giving me this half standard, I don't want, I want something better than this. And then, are you sure you're ready for it? Yeah, I'm ready for it. Okay, now go and throw this Chintamani, this stone somewhere and come back. So like that, he will come back, and then Sanatan Goswami will initiate this Brahmana with the Maha Mantra. So that is the best benediction one can get, all right, in his life. Like Mataji said, the best benediction is he initiated him with the mantra. So that mantra is the best benediction. All right, so yeah, that benediction is even more valuable than a Chintamani stone, which can turn sand into or dust into diamond. So that's the story. Okay. All right, so let's recap quickly. All right, so Krishna talked about the liberation with which the sages attain perfection. He reveals the best knowledge by which great sages have attained supreme destination, and that material nature is the mother and Krishna is the seed-giving father, and how the modes bind the pure soul. All right, generally this is the reason. All right, different bodies, different activities under the different modes is the cause of varieties of happiness and distress. So how the body is reacting, the 24 elements are interacting with the material nature. Okay, so that's how we get our different bodies, and we perform different activities, and this will give us varieties of happiness and distress. And then we saw one by one how the binding force bind us under different modes. So we saw that, right? Okay, about dying within the mode, just one sloka. Goodness, we will go to higher planet because of our pious actions. Passion, we will remain among the people who are engaged in fruitive activities. And ignorance, there's tendency to fall into animal kingdom. Okay. All right, so how to transcend the mode? Krishna answered we saw one question that Krishna answered. by pure devotional service, one can transcend and achieve Brahman, because there are so many symptoms we saw, right? So many, I didn't even count. So what is the easy way out? Just engage in pure devotional service and you can achieve Brahman. So Krishna will say, I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. So he is giving his position in relation to this position. Okay. So yeah, we are encouraging everybody to buy Srimad Bhagavatam. So if you see here, the books are arranged here on a table, and there's something like puja here. So this is called installation of Srimad Bhagavatam. So when situations are fine, right, we actually install the Srimad Bhagavatam because we view it very sacred. So when you are buying Srimad Bhagavatam, it's good to just perform a simple puja, like arati, and then some prayers. And so this is called installation of Srimad Bhagavatam in the house. All right, so there are 12 cantos, but 18 books, 18 volumes. So we would like to encourage everybody to buy this, own this. Okay, so we can, yeah, Bhagavad Gita also. Is it so far? I've not seen. We are performing installation of Bhagavad Gita, but there's so much importance given for Bhagavatam. All right, yeah, so we can do that. Okay, I hope everybody has Bhagavad Gita already. Okay, Mataji, sharp 9. Sorry, we couldn't do Japa. Okay, Mataji. So I will. Do you all want to stay here and do the quiz? So actually, you know what? From your chapter 1, I didn't see your feedback result forms at all. The admins have not extracted for me, so I also don't know who have done, who has not done. Let me see, Mataji. Whoever wants to stay here can stay. Let me just try to post this. Mataji, is why you all so quiet? You all can share anything, you all can tell me, can share how do you find this this whole course is turning for you. We are at chapter 14 already, 4 more classes to go. And I adore that you all are staying. So many people have fallen out, right? While I'm looking for the quiz, you all can chit chat. Wait, let me look for it. Oh, okay, I found it. So for level 1, we do like this because I see many people were not doing. I make them stay. Please do for 5 minutes. Then we see a lot of people doing. Sometimes we forget, right? You don't have time. Okay, Mataji, is okay. Yeah, Mataji, I wish I'm given the access. I even offered that. Can I help? So,
I think there's about 5 quizzes I haven't done yet.
are you able to keep track on it? Which
Yeah, I keep track.
Okay.